Number 1. The Threat Rehearsal. Ever had one of those dreams where you're about to give a huge presentation, but you're naked, you don't know your lines, and your teeth are falling out like tiny sad mints? Or you're running from a shadowy figure down a hallway that just never ends? You wake up with your heart doing a drum solo against your ribs, drenched in sweat, and think, wow, my subconscious is a real jerk. Well, it's not just being a jerk for fun, it's being a jerk with a purpose. This is what some neuroscientists call threat simulation theory. While you're peacefully drooling on your pillow, your brain is a frantic director running a low-budget horror movie where you're the star, the victim, and the clueless extra who opens the wrong door. It's forcing you through these stressful, terrifying scenarios, being chased, failing a test, social humiliation, as a form of practice. Your brain is basically a paranoid doomsday prepper. It's thinking, okay, we haven't been hunted by a saber-toothed tiger in a while, but what if we have to give a PowerPoint to Brenda from accounting? That's basically the same level of mortal danger. So it runs these drills, these horrifying dress rehearsals, to fine-tune your fight or flight response. The anxiety, the panic, the desperate problem solving, it's all a simulation to keep you sharp. Your brain isn't trying to torture you, it's trying to train you for a disaster that will probably never happen. It's the most stressful, inefficient, and frankly rude self-improvement program ever devised. Number 2. The memory wipe. You probably think of your brain as a loyal librarian, carefully filing away every precious memory, every witty comeback you thought of 3 hours too late. The truth is much more brutal. At night, your brain doesn't just store memories, it takes out a giant metaphorical trash bag and starts chucking things out with ruthless efficiency. This process is called synaptic pruning, and it's less like gentle gardening and more like a corporate downsizing where half the staff gets fired without notice. Throughout the day, you form thousands of new neural connections. The name of that barista, the weird license plate you saw, the exact shade of beige on your office wall. Most of it is useless clutter, so while you're asleep, your brain's glial cells, the underappreciated janitorial staff of the nervous system, get to work. They shrink and weaken the connections to memories you haven't used much, making them harder to access. Eventually they just sweep them away, poof, gone. Your brain is literally deciding which parts of your own life are worth remembering. That cherished childhood moment, maybe it stays. The plot of that movie you watched last Tuesday? Probably not. It's a cold, calculated process designed to make the important memories stronger by clearing out the junk. So when you can't remember what you had for breakfast yesterday, don't feel bad. Your brain didn't lose that memory. It looked at it, decided it was meaningless, and threw it in the incinerator to make room for more important stuff, like the lyrics to a song you hated in 2004. Number 3. The shadow in the corner. Of all the terrifying things your brain can cook up while you're supposed to be resting, this one feels the most personal. You wake up, but you can't move, not an inch. Your eyes are open, you can see your room, but your body is made of stone. And that's when the panic sets in, a primal, suffocating fear. Then you feel it, a presence, a weight on your chest. You might even see a dark, human-shaped figure standing in the corner of your room, just watching. This is sleep paralysis, and it's your brain's wiring getting spectacularly crossed. Normally during REM sleep, the stage where you have your most vivid dreams, your brain paralyzes your body. It's a feature, not a bug, called REM atonia. It's a brilliant safety mechanism that stops you from physically acting out your dream of winning a gold medal in interpretive dance and drop-kicking your bedside lamp. But sometimes your conscious mind boots up before the paralysis program has shut down. You're awake, but your body is still locked in dream mode. Your brain, which is an expert at pattern recognition, immediately freaks out. It thinks, I'm awake, I am in danger, I cannot move, therefore something must be holding me down. Your amygdala, the brain's little screaming alarm bell, goes wild. It needs a source for this terror, and since there isn't one, it just invents it. It takes the shadows in your room, the hum of the fridge, and the weight of your own blanket and weaves them into a full-blown waking nightmare. An intruder, a demon, a shadowy figure. Your brain gets so scared of being paralyzed that it hallucinates a monster to justify the fear. It's like stubbing your toe and then inventing the ghost of a clumsy Victorian child to blame it on. Number 4, the toxic brain, WASH. Think of your brain like a bustling 24/7 city. All day long, its citizens, your neurons, are working, communicating, and producing waste, metabolic byproducts, leftover proteins, all the gunk that comes from thinking hard about whether a hot dog qualifies as a sandwich. By the end of the day, the city streets are filled with garbage. If you don't clean it up, the whole system grinds to a halt. This is where the night shift comes in. While you sleep, something truly bizarre happens inside your skull. Your brain cells actually shrink, some by as much as 60%, creating wider channels between them. This isn't some weird party trick, it's to make room for the cleaning crew. A system called the glymphatic system kicks into gear, pumping cerebrospinal fluid through these newly widened canals. It's a high-pressure power wash that flushes out all the toxic waste that accumulated during the day, including proteins like beta amyloid, which is famously linked to Alzheimer's disease. The disturbing truth isn't the cleaning process itself, but what it implies. Sleep isn't just for resting, it's a non-negotiable nightly race against cognitive decay. When you skip sleep, you are forcing your brain to marinate in its own toxic soup. That foggy, sluggish, can't form a sentence feeling you have after an all-nighter. That's not just you being tired. That's the feeling of a brain literally clogged with its own garbage. So the next time you think about pulling an all-nighter, just picture your sophisticated neural network wading through its own chemical sewer. Sweet dreams. Number 5, the midnight explosion. Imagine you're lying in bed, hovering in that perfect, quiet space between wakefulness and sleep. The house is silent, your mind is finally shutting down, and then, bam! A sound like a bomb, a gunshot, or a cymbal clash erupts right inside your skull. It's so loud, so violent, you jolt awake, convinced a car just crashed through your living room. You leap out of bed, heart hammering, only to find nothing. Everything is perfectly still. Congratulations, you've just experienced exploding head syndrome. Despite the horrifying name, your head is not in fact exploding. It's a sensory illusion, a spectacular neurological screw-up. As you fall asleep, your brain is supposed to power down its various sections in an orderly fashion. Your motor center, auditory center, visual center, they all dim the lights and lock the doors for the night. But sometimes the process glitches. Instead of shutting down the auditory neurons gracefully, your brain fumbles the controls. It's like a tired stagehand trying to pull 100 different levers at once, slipping and causing them all to slam down simultaneously. This creates a sudden, massive burst of neural activity in the auditory cortex, which your conscious mind interprets as an incredibly loud, sharp noise. There's no sound, no threat, just a bunch of neurons having a brief, pointless rave before passing out. It's completely harmless, but utterly terrifying. It's your brain's way of tripping on the stairs on its way to bed. Number 6, the phantom fall. You know the feeling. You're just about to sink into a deep, delicious sleep. You're warm, you're comfortable, you're mentally composing a grocery list for tomorrow. Then suddenly, your stomach lurches. You feel like you've just stepped off a curb that wasn't there. Or worse, you're plummeting through an endless void. Your entire body convulses in a violent, involuntary jerk, yanking you back to full, wide-eyed consciousness. This is a hypnic jerk, and it's one of the most common and bizarre things your brain does without your permission. Scientists aren't 100% sure why it happens, but the leading theory is that it's a ghost in our evolutionary machine. It's a leftover reflex from our primate ancestors who slept in trees. For them, falling was a very real, very deadly possibility. As you drift off to sleep, your muscles begin to relax completely. Your breathing slows, your heart rate drops. Your brain, which is still running on ancient paranoid ape software, sometimes misinterprets this sudden relaxation. It panics, thinking, wait, total muscle relaxation? That's what happens when you lose your grip and fall out of the nest. In a split second of pure, instinctual terror, It sends a powerful electrical jolt to your arms and legs to catch yourself and regain your grip on the branch you're most definitely not sleeping on. So that violent twitch isn't just a random spasm, it's your inner monkey having a panic attack about falling from a tree that hasn't existed for a million years. Number 7. The emotional lobotomy. Ever gone to bed absolutely furious at someone, replaying the argument in your head on a loop? Or heartbroken, feeling like the world is ending? Then you wake up the next morning and it's better. The memory is still there, clear as day, but the painful, gut-wrenching emotional charge is gone. It feels less like a raw wound and more like a scene from a movie you watched a long time ago. That's not just time healing all wounds. Your brain performed delicate emotional surgery on you while you slept. This happens during REM sleep, the same stage where you have your most bonkers dreams. During this phase, your brain almost completely shuts off the production of noradrenaline, a key neurochemical linked to stress and anxiety. It creates a chemically safe space, a kind of mental demilitarized zone. Then, your brain begins to process the emotional experiences of the day. It replays the memories, but it does so without the anxiety-fueling chemical bath. By reprocessing the memory in this stress-free environment, the brain manages to sever the cord between the event and the raw emotion. It keeps the informational part of the memory, my boss yelled at me, but files away the visceral, painful feeling, and I felt like a worthless failure. It's an incredibly sophisticated form of overnight therapy that allows you to learn from difficult experiences without being perpetually traumatized by them. The disturbing part is that your brain is actively editing your emotional reality, stripping down your experiences into cold, hard data, all without your consent. It's a nightly reset that keeps you sane, but it's also a reminder that the feelings you wake up with have been carefully curated by a subconscious editor. Number 8. The unconscious pilot. Of all the things you think you own, your body is number 1 on the list. You tell it to walk, it walks. You tell it to pick up a cup, it picks up a cup. Except at night. At night, all bets are off. Sometimes your body just decides to go on an adventure without you. We call it sleepwalking, but that term is far too quaint for what's actually happening. This isn't a dream you're acting out. Sleepwalking, or somnambulism, typically occurs during the deepest, dreamless stages of NREM sleep. What's happening is a bizarre neurological split. The part of your brain that controls motor function and navigation is mysteriously awake and active. It can execute complex behaviors, walking downstairs, opening the fridge, getting dressed, even unlocking the front door. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for rational thought, memory, and consciousness, is completely offline. It is lights out. Nobody's home. This means there is a version of you walking around your house that is not you. It's a biological machine running on a primal autopilot. It can perform tasks, but it has no judgment, no awareness, and it will form no memories of its journey. People have been found doing everything from cooking a full meal, a terrifying fire hazard, to trying to drive a car. This is the ultimate identity theft, committed by your own body. It's a chilling reminder that the consciousness you call me is just one program running on the hardware, and sometimes another program takes the controls while you're asleep. You're not the pilot, you're just the person who gets the logbook in the morning and most of the pages are blank. Number 9. The information blender. You go to bed with a problem you just can't solve, a creative block, a tricky logistical issue at work, or maybe you're just trying to remember the name of that actor who was in that thing. You wrestle with it for hours and get nowhere. Then you sleep on it, and when you wake up, the answer just pops into your head. It feels like magic, but it's actually a process of neural chaos. While you're asleep, your brain isn't just filing and pruning, it's also running a bizarre, unsupervised brainstorming session. It's called memory consolidation, but it's more like putting all your thoughts into a blender without the lid on. During the day, your hippocampus holds onto new information in a very structured, logical way. But at night, especially during REM sleep, your brain lets go of that rigid structure. The prefrontal cortex, which usually acts as the strict hall monitor of your thoughts, takes a nap. This allows for free, bizarre, and illogical connections to be made. The memory of your work problem suddenly gets mashed up with a memory of a documentary you saw about bridge construction, which then gets linked to the taste of the weird sandwich you had for lunch. A concept from a book you read years ago might suddenly connect with a conversation you had yesterday. It's a storm of random, cross contextual associations. Most of it is absolute gibberish, which is why your dreams are so weird. But every now and then, two seemingly unrelated ideas click together in a way your logical, waking brain never would have allowed. That aha moment isn't a gift from the sleep gods, it's the one good idea that survived your brain's nightly descent into creative madness. Number 10, the clock recalibration. Every cell in your body has its own tiny internal clock. Your liver has a clock, your skin has a clock, your digestive system has a clock. They all have their own daily schedules for when to perform certain functions, like releasing hormones or repairing tissue. This city of tiny clocks is all supposed to be synchronized by one master clock in your brain, located in a region called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN. This master clock sets its time based on one primary cue: light. At night, in the absence of light, your brain begins a system-wide reset. It sends out melatonin, the hormone of darkness, which is like a memo sent to every cell in your body saying, "Okay, team, it's night. Time to start the evening protocols." This is when your body temperature drops, your blood pressure lowers, and cellular repair goes into overdrive. Your entire physiology is being recalibrated for the night shift. The disturbing part is how fragile this whole operation is. When you stare at your phone screen late at night, you are blasting your SCN with bright blue spectrum light. Your master clock gets confused. It thinks, is that the sun at 1 a.m.? It delays the melatonin memo, which means all the little clocks in your body get their schedules thrown into chaos. Your liver doesn't know when to process fats. Your immune system doesn't know when to do its best work. It's organizational anarchy. That one little peek at social media isn't just keeping you awake. It's a lie you're telling your entire biological system. A lie that disrupts a fundamental, ancient process your body relies on to keep from falling apart. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.